the person in charge. So this is why they have the puffy, you know what I'm saying, shoulders, because the conquistador nigga is the nigga that's running the plantation, right? So we understand that garments and regalia psychologically affect people. So when you put this thing on, you're representing the Orisha on earth, so that the congregation gets to see Orisha in real life. This person has Shango made, and now he's dressed up like Shango, and we're coming to salute Shango as our king. Now, those 7 days you are treated like royalty, so that you know that you have a certain standard of how you're supposed to be treated in the world. Yes? Okay?
Check. Yep, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, now, if you go Isheshe, they're going to parade you around their little town. You ain't going to get no nice clothes that you're going to get buried in, right? Because they don't understand the psychological necessity for us to have that branded on our brain, right? And so then there's the concept of the things that go with the Kariocha ceremony, the things that we were initiated with. And inside the room there is a table of commodities, of attribute or condiments, so to speak. So on this table there will be palm oil, there'll be guinea peppers, there'll be crushed up hutia and fish, or bush rat and fish. There'll be alligator peppers. There will be wine. There will be ocean water or river water. There will be cocoa butter. There will be molasses. There will be honey. There will be efflume, cotton, right? All of these different things that are on that table are something that Black people were sold into slavery over.
Yes, wow.
They do not have that in the Sheshe because that is not their experience. So we are giving the gods those things that men sold us over. We give them as condiments to the Orisha when we're birthing them. Okay? So that we have palm oil and all of these different things. That is a standard. Like if you go into an Ocha room in Lucumi and they don't have a table, and that table don't have a white sheet on it, and don't have all the accoutrements on it, get out of it. Okay? Because that station of the person who runs that table is very important. Because the Oriate table be like, I need this. And that person, after a while, they know the order of those things, that they'll be right there on time. So when I come back, they're going to give me the next thing. Right?
Right. So the Oriate, insurgent, yeah.
Yes. Okay? These are the midwives to me performing this birth. Okay? And so
initiation is giving birth. Like, just like you're born again a Christian, you are born again
and you go through all of the rites. You go through an aquatic renewal with a bath, right? Then you're shaved, where you're being released of all of your transgressions that you've accumulated over time.
And babies ain't got no hair.
That's why they don't have no transgressions. Feel me? And so this is why it's taken off to be back to be bald, and then a signature is painted on you. You ordered Domino's?
Yeah,
oh. And so what happens is, in this ceremony, you're being born again. And then you're being born into the deity. And that deity will come with a name. Okay? And with this name, it comes with all of its taboos. Just like Superman. Superman got his taboos. He can't fuck with kryptonite.
Right. So Christianity got 10 commandments. You got like about how many you got taboos?
Right. And and then you can do them if you want, but they're there to necessarily help you along, because there might be something that they're telling you that you shouldn't eat, that later on it might save your life, right? But if you take something in the interim all the time, then it won't have the effects that you require.
So if it says don't eat eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't eat eggs, don't eat eggs, don't eat eggs, and so that's part of your thing. And then maybe at one point eat an egg. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that might come a time when now that they're divining, and you might have some ailment, and then it comes out and they say, "Yo, you don't eat eggs," and they're like, "Nah," and they're like, "Okay, see, this is what is required," and then now it becomes that thing that would necessarily help you, right? Because you don't overdo medicine, or else it won't have any effect.
That's a good point, man. Wow.
So
Understand the taboo.
Now, but yeah, but the fact that your babies were born with full head of hair is an omen. That's a specific birth that is recognized within Yoruba land, that recognize a child that we call Dada.
Right. So when they have a full head of hair, that's a special thing. That's like
these are children of miraculous birth. They have miraculous circumstances to their birth. So twins are miraculous birth. Two different seeds germinating within you. That's a miraculous thing. A child born with the cord wrapped around their neck is a miraculous birth. Child born feet first is a miraculous birth, right? A child born with 6 fingers is a miraculous birth. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to show something real quick, because Ibaing to my Ayobona's husband. See, this is so I was sitting on my throne, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens during initiation is that they, at some point after initiation, the community comes and everybody comes to greet the Orisha, and they greet you, and you see the love in his face. This is their first time seeing their deity in flesh, right?
Right, you're getting to see the Orisha in real time, right? See, the thing about it is that nobody says that this religion is better than other. We're talking about the symbolism and how things are perceived, right? Jesus Christ is all good and dandy, but don't show me Jesus Christ on the cross, right? Because you're asking me to ask a man who can't help himself for help. You get that?
Yep.
So this nigga got fucking nails in his hands. He can't even scratch his balls. You standing in there kneeling to him talking about, help me, sir. Man, help that nigga. Now, if you show me Jesus and the nigga got the cape, he got the sword, he drinking out the chalice, that's my man. I fucks with him. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Don't show me a nigga want to, because that would be the equivalent of you coming to me, Monica, and you saying, Oba, I'm homeless. I'd be like, all right, come, get in the car. And I drive you to the gas station and I introduce you to the bum in the street. I'd be like, yo, she homeless. You'd be like, what the fuck you telling me for?
Right.
Well, that's the same thing with the symbolism of Jesus that they give to niggas. This nigga is on a cross with a fucking thorn of crowns bleeding, and you telling him to help you. Man, help that nigga. Get a hammer and take the nails off this nigga fucking hand. So it's the symbolism. It's what they show you to affect you. Because, right, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words and a symbol's worth 1,000 pictures. So, again, it's not what you're doing. So this is why spiritualism doesn't allow me. I don't throw Jesus away. I deal with Jesus on the spiritual level, right?
I was told to go to church. I was told go to church.
That's because we respect the house that is built just for God. We respect that. Okay? We ain't telling you that he don't live there. But he live in my house too. Because I got a bunch of Orisha in this motherfucker. Feel me? So the idea is that to be Lucumi, one is a spiritualist, one may have some kind of Congo initiation, and then be an initiate to Orisha. That's what makes one Lucumi in the concept. Okay? Because without the glass of water, what are you doing? Because we have a saying, Iku se lobi ocha. Death gave birth to the living, or to the Orishas, right? And
like the darkness gave birth to the light, right?
No, so the wheel is Iku se lobi ocha. The dead gave birth to the Orishas. Ocha se lobi Ifa. The Orishas gave birth to divination. Ifa se lobi Osai. And the divination gave birth to medicine.
Right, medicine.
Yeah, Osai is medicine.
Right, Osai, the herbs, right. Exactly. And were the Orishas the original doctors? Not the Orishas, were the Olorishas, the Babalao, the Obas, were they the doctors of the time in that society? Were they the...
Well, see, again, you can't really like it's not in good taste to try to necessarily impose constructs on something that we didn't really get a chance to see in its earnesty. Meaning that, so you have to understand that Orisha initiation in that time in Yoruba land had different connotations. So some people were initiated that they can only help participate in feeding the Orishas. Some people were only initiated that they can participate in certain parts of the Orishas. Some people can go inside the room and touch the Orishas. There were different levels of initiation that we don't require because of our circumstances. Okay?
But child, you all right? He coughing. He got some
he fine.
fire.
Don't worry about it.
He got some fire.
Every time I'm on one of these shows, they be like, "Is he okay?" I be like, "No, don't worry."
He got some fire up in there, child. Whatever that was.
He's just fine. That's my best friend. He's the son of Baba.
Right, but he got that whatever that was. That's some perp or some derpity herp here, bro.
Some fine. It's a way data. So, and see, this is the thing. A lot of times, this tradition had things imposed upon it based on the people who were propagating it at the time, right? So, myself and my generation, my cousins and the Ocha kids that I grew up with, we're not the same as our parents. We're not converts. We don't know nothing else but this shit, right? And we have a particular perspective because we're able to see Orisha in a new world. See, the Nigerian don't know what it is to drive while being black. He don't know what that problem is. So he can't even detect that out of the conversation from Orisha to even convey that to me because he has no context of that.
So that Lucumi Shay thing going on in Atlanta, where you have the Shay people going against the Lucumi people, throwing a bunch of like goats and stuff into the river and all that other weird stuff going on.
They're idiots, and they're making it hard to practice these traditions because they don't know what they're doing.
So we have to listen. So there's like so we need to like give reverence to the people that shouts out to our Cuban brothers and sisters, because you have this whole FBA thing, right? Oh, you're a tether and this, that, the other, and you know, blah blah blah.
See, but that goes against Pan-Africanism. So if you're part of the quote unquote conscious community, the conscious community, its foundations was based on Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism says that wherever there's niggas at, that's my land. So I've been to Cuba more times than I can count. Like there's been years that I probably spent like a half a year over there. Like I did a month, came back, went back for another month, like half the year I was there, right? So I ain't no fucking tourist when I go there. I could get off a plane right now and I got 7 houses that I could go sleep on and knock on their door without a dime in my pocket.
In Nigeria, shouts out.
Now, if we're going to be Pan-Africanists, we have to accept that everything that we touch, we have, you know what I'm saying? We have license to in that regard as a Pan-Africanist, right? So the problem is that black people don't like to address their evils and their demons. We could be racist. We have a racism about us. Yes, we do. I can say that even about my elders. The ones that didn't learn no Spanish, you a fucking dummy. The fuck told you that you was gonna go learn somebody else's shit and then not have to learn their language? Who the fuck you think you are? Like, right? That was the arrogance of my elders. Oh, well, this is America. They gotta speak English. Okay, they ain't gotta speak nothing. They ain't gotta tell your stupid ass nothing. Right? So the idea of, oh, well, I don't want to deal with that Spanish shit. Okay, that's cool, but the Nigerians never gave this shit to you. I promise you that. They were not thinking about giving you no fucking Ocha. They gave that shit to white men before they ever integrated some black people.
Thank you to the white man before they ever gave it to us. Right. Shay. Wow.
Okay. So I don't hold them in regard. Now, I'll tell you a story about one of my elders, Oba Ade Dayo Baba Facundo Harris. Right? Alayi Misi, he had Agayu Oro Chango. It was made by a very famous Oriate by the name of Ochewede. He was easily in his fucking 50s at Ocha before he died. He passed the Ifa at some point in his life and career. And when he went to Ode Remu to make Ifa, and after all of the ceremonies, he said to them, "This is all nice, but I got questions for y'all." He said to us, "If this Ifa shit is that fucking perfect, tell me how you ain't see that white boy coming." and they got quiet. He said, that's what I thought. He said, this is all cool, but you niggas never sent a boat to come get us. So I'm not going to play romantic with Africa, okay? I'm not going to let you fool you with this fact that, oh, Africa never had a word for thief. No, they did. The shit is all in the Odus. Homosexuality, fucking pedophilia, all that shit is in the fucking Odus. They talk about that shit. So we're not going to act like you didn't know what the fuck was going on. So because of that, you did not walk in Selma with me. You wasn't at the motherfucking March on Washington with me. Shit, you wasn't even there when motherfucker we was marching for Amadou Diallo. So what I'm not going to do is take on your customs. I recognize that you are the origins of where the Orishas necessarily laid out their fucking foundations in more deep way. But y'all need to get y'all country together. And y'all need to necessarily missionary the people in Nigeria so that they stop being Muslim and Christian. When you do that, then I'll come over there and give you my affections and my attention. Right? Because you got bigger fish to fry. The people that go over there, I'd be like, well, why you didn't stay? If you're so dedicated to the mission, why you didn't help them over there? They need that shit. Them motherfuckers, the goddamn Muslims be shooting at their goon-goons during the ceremonies. So what are you doing over here? If you love the culture so much that you walking around wearing dashikis and all that shit, why the fuck you don't do that shit over there? See, because my shit is, I'm trying to necessarily get this Lucumi shit so that they can get to the projects. So that they won't be killing each other in the fucking projects no more. So that you can hear drums coming from the projects as opposed to gunshots. And you're not going to get the young boys to do that when you're wearing funny clothes that don't fucking serve them. Those clothes are not functional. They ain't got no pockets. That shit look nice, my nigga, but that's not what the little niggas wear.
So listen. I got some, I'm going to show you some things. I want to get your take on it. These are past lives I've done with other racial practitioners. This is a young man by the name of Brian Deal, and he's a Caucasian practitioner. And I want to hear what you feel about what he has to say about the Orisha tradition. Let's go. Let me speed it up because I want to start up. Let me do this. Boom. Here.
But then what you see at a certain point in time is moving past ancestor veneration, past animism, past spiritism or mediumship, and religion becoming a more social political environment. And when we started mixing religion with hierarchy and class and race and ethnicity and deciding, well, this group of people is the chosen people of God and these people are not the chosen people of God, and started doing this kind of thing, that all religion ends up like that. Mm-hmm. Which is why I have a big problem with a lot of people who want to try to codify Orisha or voodoo practices into a religion. I have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. These spiritualities were never meant to be religions in the way that Christianity is a religion, in the way Islam is a religion, because it's based on your personal interaction with your spirits. It's based on your relationship with your ancestors, or your relationship with your spiritual court, your Egbe, your relationship with your Orishas. It is a direct faith where there is a communication that's exchanged between the person and God, and between the avatars of God. That does not exist in Abrahamic religions. There is a hierarchy. There is priests, and those priests are set aside from everybody else, and they're treated a particular way, and they have a particular political power. So what I'm trying to say is that it's very difficult to try to compare Western religion, and when we say Western religion, we mean Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, with indigenous spirituality, period. Whether it's African, whether it's Taino, the indigenous people that Christopher Columbus met when he showed up lost in the Caribbean, the Tainos, were also my ancestors. So what I'm saying is that, you know, at the end of the day, when you make a religion a hierarchy, you end up with what we have. Just look around. And my personal opinion, and I'm not meant to offend any of the other priests that are here, because these other people are priests too. But what I have found is that I've started moving back towards a more shamanic mediumship, indigenous, like closer to source way of interacting with spirit and interacting with my spiritual practices. Because at the end of the day, you. In traditional African religion of Ifa, which is what I initiated into, men and women get fully initiated into the faith. They both receive Ifa. you get one hand of Ifa, you become an Aborisha, someone who is a student of Orunmila, and you get your second hand of Ifa, you become an Awo. If you're a man, I'm an Awo, an initiate. And if you're a woman, you become an Ianifa. And so I'm an Awo, I'm an initiate, but I'm not quite a Babalao, because there's more things that men have to do in order to get to Babalao status. But when a woman gets initiated in Ifa, because she is a representative of Odu on earth, she has a womb. She is automatically a high priestess.
And
she
Odu is the womb, right?
Because Odu is the womb of creation. And the Ifa spirituality is a
Let me know when you want to interject. Let me know when you want to
so much divine feminine contained within the Ifa faith that people don't realize.
Stop. Okay. First of all, again, he has no humility. He has no humility. Who told you that you could even speak about something that we're still suffering from the oppressions of you niggas trying to destroy this fucking religion? You got a whole lot of shit that gonna fucking you need to be humble, right? Like a dog that gets to be around wolves don't get to be the motherfucking alpha wolf. You understand? We took you in. We could have ate you. Because you ain't a wolf. Right? So what happens is, first of all, I'm going crazy. First of all, he's coming from an E5 perspective. So now he's going to say that there's the Eon E5. I beg to differ. I can promise you, we could debate. We could go and find very old books that were written about the Yoruba, and you will not ever see the word Eon E5. Right? That's number one. So then what he sounds like is, and then just unfortunately, he just sounds like a gay man that has an affinity for women. And he wants to be
that's crazy.
Huh?
That is crazy. He said he was a gay man. He has a child. He's like bisexual. And then he talks about how Ifa is accepting of everyone, even gay people. And
No. So what he's negating is the history. He's negating that of course it was a religion because it had to do with the politics of Yoruba land. The Onye of the Ile Ife is a direct descendant of Oduduwa. The next Onye of Ile Ife is a direct descendant of Obatala. What is he talking about? See, again, he's trying to take something out of context. So again, you can't take. See, this is why there's a problem with Ishe, because you ain't
hold on. Can I show that part? I want to show that part because I want you to hear it in the context of what he said. I want to be the one that says what he said. Let me play this and then.
You're trying to instigate me.
I want to talk about the whole thing about sexuality and sexual orientation, because if I was a lawyer and I had to walk into a courtroom as a lawyer to defend homosexuality practiced in African spirituality, I would have to have precedent. You guys understand what precedent is, right? Precedent is I have to prove to you as a jury that what I'm saying is based in some kind of fact. It's not made up. What do we see? The oldest spirituality that was practiced in the Western Hemisphere is voodoo. Voodoo is the first tradition that made it to the New World. And when those Congo people and when those other people, the I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. That Igbo people and a lot of those people. So when they're all coming together, okay, what you see in Haitian voodoo and what you see in voodoo in general is that they're a mambo and an ungan, a male and a female priest, are on the same level. Men and women are considered priest and priestesses in this religion. They are on the same level. No one's better than anyone else. No sex is better than anyone else. I'm talking about the way you're born. My mambo is a trans woman, and she went into Kanzo and initiated as a mambo asagwe. Okay, so that shows you in Haiti. That shows you the Loa don't care about someone's physical body, okay, or who they love or who they don't love.
No, stop.
Also, gay people are celebrated. We celebrate diversity within the context of voodoo communities. Within the context.
Stop. We have Odu, right? Okay. Odu, where sexuality was born, period. Where sexuality was born, it went through the entire gambit. In Odi Meiji, We have a saying, what goes in the mouth smelling good come out the ass smelling bad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, 2 negatives don't make anything. 2 positives don't make anything. So the entire Ocha ceremony is based on male and female interaction for copulation. Now, nobody's saying that the Oriate is above any Olorisha. So as an Oriate, I got 19 years of Ocha. I come to do the work. The godmother of the house, she might got 45 years of Ocha. I'm above. She's never gonna salute me. I'm gonna always salute her. No matter how much I'm running the ceremonies, I have to salute her because the hierarchy is based on initiation age. Period. So I have a cousin right now. He's a year older than me. I'm 47. He's 48 years old. He has 38 years of Yemunja. Right? When we go somewhere, I don't care how old you are in age. If you ain't older than him in Ocha, you gotta salute that nigga. Because that's the system. That's the hierarchy. Now, when it comes to homosexuality and things of that nature, nobody cares what you do. That's an absolute fact. But here's the thing. In Mayombe, in Palo Mayombe, it became unacceptable because the cauldron is a hole. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And things crawl into holes. Yes?
Yes.
So if you got a hole in your backside because somebody drilling you every other night because y'all making love, that means something could crawl inside of you. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the concept of it. So that you become a pot. And they don't believe in that. Because again, they believe in Dumba and Munan, man and woman. Right? Now, your preference, that has nothing to do with anything else. That has everything to do, see, because here's the thing.
Well, what if he give it and not? What if he ain't giving it?
No, it doesn't matter. Listen, 2 men that are forced into a romantic relationship based on circumstances, them niggas are stuck on some fucking mountain, they're in some cell, whatever. Okay, because human beings require affection. That's just the God's honest truth, right? 2 women, 2 men. Now, in the world, the reason why male homosexuality is seen different than female homosexuality is because everybody sucked on their mother's breast. You take a shower with your mother, whether you're male or female. So everybody honors the female body. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. When one man submits to another man, one man is gaining pleasure while the other man is experiencing pain. That's domination. There's no reciprocity in that. So when we make the Orishas, this is why you get a mother and a father in Ocha. You're not going to get Ogun and Shango. No. That's not happening. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, mama's baby, papa's baby, that's always the case. Right? But the reality is that this system is based on, because if creation is the God's greatest gift, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So that means that copulation is the practice of that act.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's something sacred.
Yes.
Now, Odimeji says that the world became perverted when human beings or when anything figured out that they could put this shit in something else and gain some type of pleasure. This is when what they call sodomy was born, right? So sodomy.
Odimeji.
In Odimeji, sodomy was born. Sodomy because Odimeji is where the hole was born. And again, it's taught man that one to eat with and one to shit with. Okay, now, because human beings require affection, because babies will die if you do not touch them in the first week or so. Okay? That's a fact. That's nothing to debate about. Right? There's nothing to debate about.
I didn't even know about that. Wow.
Yeah, babies. That's why when you go to the what do they call it? The nursery in the hospital. They got people with they got them gloves that go inside the incubators for people to touch the baby so that the baby feels alive.
Wow. Okay.
So you require affection. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when two men are in a circumstance where there's no women, whatever. So there's a story that they say that when Yemonja and Oshun were trapped in some hole, they began to make love to each other. And when they got back to heaven, Ogun accused them of inappropriateness. And Yemonja said, we were just feeding each other because they have breasts. Right? Okay.
Okay.
So again, when a woman is examining another woman, she is understanding herself. Men are exterior. We already know what we got. I don't need to see another man's penis to know what to do with mine. You understand?
Right, right.
So, with that understanding, these are people who, again, they want to create something around their issue. Right? So, first of all, in Lucumi, there was an issue because of slavery that the Congos did not deal with people who were broken because there was a big thing about the overseers buck breaking the men in the cane fields. So this is why the Congo created the effigy so that he could put his manhood in it so it wouldn't be damaged. So the Nganga is a place for the Tata to put his manhood so that when he go out in the fields and this fucking cracker's talking stupid to him, that he don't got to chop his head off and then get hung and that be the end of him. So he gonna eat that shit. He gonna comply because his manhood
it's a very male like aspect of that religion, that whole thing, like very.
Yes, that's why.
masculine.
That's the reason for it. So
right.
in the early days of making Ocha, the women had to make some concessions because the men wasn't making Ocha because they was like, if I'm making Ocha, I ain't putting on no dress. Fuck you, ain't Ocha. So the women changed it. So they was like, all right, we're gonna put the men in pants now.
So when he said there's a trans person that actually initiated him into power.
Yo, I don't know. I'm not Vodun. I don't know what the fuck going on in Haiti. It ain't my business. I ain't got shit to say what the fuck they do in Haiti. I don't compare what they do to what we do. See, because they don't have the same thing. So the reason why Lucumi becomes so very, very, very special is the fact that it has checks and balances. So you come to my house and you get a reading, right? Boom. Shit come out. It says, Monica, you need to be careful of light-skinned niggas because they're going to steal your money and break your heart. Okay. So now, one day, you come with me to the drumming and some fucking lady that never saw you a day in her life get possessed with Yemonja. And she be like, baby girl, you need to leave them light-skinned niggas alone. You know that lady wasn't at that fucking thing. So that means that that's a confirmation of that the reading that came out, that shit is real. They don't have that in fucking Haiti. They only have possession. Now, what is the fucking dangers in that? Let's say that the possessed class get together. So all the niggas that get possessed, we all come to my house one day. We be like, listen, these niggas don't pay us. We go tell them niggas some crazy shit, right? So now the next drumming, I get possessed, and I'd be like, you must give me all your money, or the research will strike you down. Niggas gonna give me all their money because they believe in me, right? So that's how the shit got corrupt. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. The reason that religion got corrupted is because of nepotism. So the shoemaker, he wanted his son to be a shoemaker, right?
Yeah.
The hunter wanted his son to be a hunter, right? The blacksmith wanted his son to be a blacksmith, right?
Yes.
But the oracle cannot decide for his son to be the oracle because the oracle picks who's the next oracle.
Right. I'm sure.
So if I decide to necessarily disregard that, and I put my son on, even though he's a terrible motherfucker, when I die, he's gonna take advantage of the people. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's fucking simple. And we have this in Odu in the Rosa Meiji. It says the upright gave birth to the hunchback. That means that the nigga who's looking up at the son of the God will give birth to a child that's gonna look down at the ground and look into the devil.
All right, so this whole thing. So what about people born with? So all right, so we have a person that's here. No, actually, my friend. This is Tai. She's asking me. She says, "Okay, what about lesbian?" I think he covered that. He said that he talked about Old Meiji, where there was a story between Yoya and Oshun where they were alone.
The bottom line is that the Orisha don't give a fuck what you do, but it's society, and we have society for a reason so that people don't get too fucking stupid with shit.
Right.
See, people don't understand how to separate church from state.
And then she said, it's always different with women, but I digress. And then she says, well, what about people who are born with both genitals? And so
people who were born with, so that's like a 1 in a million fucking phenomenon, right? And when that happens, the Orishas will address it. That's why you got divination for. See, again, it's not like a factory line thing. Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. That's why you got divination. Some niggas don't need to get such and such. They might not need that. Don't give them that.
Whoever their Orisha is, it is what it is, and whatever their Odu is, that's what their taboos are.
Because you got two genitals, don't make you all of a sudden Oshumare. That's not how this shit works. There is an Orisha that will come to walk with you in this world to alleviate you through all the pitfalls of your journey.
Mm. So I think he got crowned Oshun.
I don't care what he got. He's not. See, again, he's not my kin. I don't know him.
So the bottom line is that. But look, I'm gonna say this is that I think that because it gets really sensitive when it comes to the gay talk. But I wanted to bring that up to say, okay, like you have like some people like they'll say, oh, okay, well, this is what it is, and I got like whatever. But then there's like this egotistical thing.
No, listen to what I'm saying. There is nothing that in Palo Mayombe, if you come to get scratched to me and you engage in homosexuality, I cannot initiate you because that's one of the tenets that it says. That's just not what we do. Period. Bam. That's it. Ocha, they don't give a fuck. Right? Now it becomes whether or not I want to deal with all of your shit. Right? Because it's very clear, and this is not a slight to anybody, but there is definitely some sort of a personality issue. If you don't know whether or not you're a man or a woman, there's a fucking personality issue. This comes from some type of trauma that you had in your past. And that shit needs to be worked out.
Before you get initiated.
Before anything, because you see that there's people right now that have gone and went and had sex changes and now they're miserable and they feel like they want to kill themselves. That's a big thing with them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, when you come into Ocha, you got to have, if you're a man, you put on pants. I've seen transgender people in this tradition. I know somebody that is very famous that has Oshun made, and she got on the thing and she told the people, I don't give a fuck what happens. I put on pants to recognize Oshun. I did not cut off my man parts because Oshun asked me not to. So what she does when she comes into a drumming, she got Oshun made. She got a set of fucking fake titties, but she come in with pants on. If you're a woman, if you like to eat pussy, what that got to do with you putting on the skirt? It's just fucking etiquette.
Oba, can you share some knowledge about the fundamental basis of the Oboni cult and how widespread it really is today?
Well, the Oboni cult, again, I'm not traditional. Oboni has to do with the land and the fact that they own the land. We don't have an Oboni cult here because we don't own no fucking land. You ain't got no sovereign place in America where you could go and then the white boy's gonna show up and stomp on your fucking plane. So that's just the reality of it. So understand that Lucumi brought with it what was functional. So the Egungun cult has no functionality in Lucumi. You know why? Because my fucking God's gotta talk to me. That shit don't talk. Fucking masquerade running around. What am I gonna do with that? Nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you understand what it was used for politically, it is a psychological warfare tactic. The Nupe used to invade the Ile Ife people with these masquerades on, and the people thought they were fucking other beings until they kidnapped the fucking king's wife, and she went with them, and she saw that there was men under these costumes. She snuck away. She got back to the king. She said, them fucking goon show back up, set them niggas on fire. And that's what they did. So that afterwards, as a means to memorialize this event, they kept this custom So that even today, if you go on TikTok now, you go look up the boom boom niggas, they're gonna put the nigga in some fucking shit with weed, they're gonna set the shit on fire, and he gonna come out the shit and be smoking, and they're gonna be like, hey, that's what these niggas know that shit for. Right? That shit has no efficacy in fucking Bed-Stuy. Niggas are shooting each other and smoking crack. What the fuck is that gonna do for us?
Speaking of what,
go to the Dumbo and I need to see Chango, and the nigga be like, listen, your son, you're gonna have to put the nigga in baseball or something away from the neighborhood so that he don't get around these niggas and they don't teach the nigga how to smoke motherfucking K2. Thank you, Baba. Mo Dupo.
Ashe, yeah. Exactly. Listen, I got one more thing I want you to see, and I want you to tell me what you think about what he says. Because I believe, I don't think that he is a Orisha practitioner, but what I want to know what Orisha practitioner would. Okay, hold on, here we go.
I'm gonna give it all to you, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang. I'm not here to play no games. I'm not Moses, right? I'm not Moses. I'm not Noah, right? Because Noah worked for the devil. That a lot of people don't know.
So here's the question: have you ever had a near-death experience? Like, even though you already did, have you ever experienced near death?
I'll be real.
Yes.
I try to die every day. Sometimes it don't work. But like, if you don't recognize that light is you, you'll come back in this body. So when you meditate after 15, 20 minutes of silence and nothing repeating, your soul elevate, and your body will feel like it don't exist. And your head, all thing you really feel is your head. But you know your body can't move, like it's still. Cause a lot of people don't know it in death.
Can I give you my experience? And let me go further. Let me
for mine, right? When you thought about that,
well, no, there's a point that I was trying. Hold on, I'm gonna go. It's like some weird. He's saying that death.
Once people sit around and think like, oh, every thought don't create my reality, they don't understand. See, when people understand that I don't have no future, that every thought and every decision kind of like open that door for me, they gonna really pay attention to what they do and say, right? But a lot of people think life is a game. Even all the church people, they in there confused. They don't understand they stuck in a world that's being controlled. Because like they tell them that they can go fuck on Saturday, they do everything they want on Saturday and Sunday, as long as they pray to Jesus, they can be forgiven. I'm sorry to the world, Jesus can't help you out of this, right? It's nothing Jesus can do.
So he was saying that this world is a prison. Let's go. Let me further.
Affect them both and can control the future because time is linear.
You know, there's an actual movie out like that.
The guy that made time, he came down here, and when he made time, he put the first clock down there. You can see the clock if you study down there. They have the first clock, and down in the Egyptians down there, they have the first clock. And he kind of like showed people time because people didn't understand that there was time, so people didn't care because your mind they live for a long time. And when he showed them,
I disagree.
and told them when they died, it kind of.
All right, let's go.
Time was invented by women.
Time was invented by women?
Yes, they have a cycle. They bleed. And so they start to pay attention to the moon, and they notice that every time this moon gets getting full, they getting ready to bleed. And so they start counting that shit. And they start being about time. That's why till today, even right now, women are more time orientated than men are. Men could give a fuck about what time of the day it is. We ain't had nothing to do, and time doesn't affect us. Now, time does not exist beyond this planet, because if I took you off this planet and put you in the middle of the fucking space, right above the earth, you would not know what day it is because the sun would not go anywhere. It would be right the fuck there. So you wouldn't have no contrast. So this thing of time has to deal with gravity and the fact that our sunrise and sunset happens. Right? And like I said, women are the first ones to chart time because they had to chart it based on the moon cycles of their menstrual cycles. You understand?
Yeah.
Time is circular. What you do in today not only affects the future, but it also affects the past.
Wow. So it changes. Yeah, of course. Right.
So even if you could time travel, if you went back to where you thought a certain event happened, it would not be there because time is constantly moving. Does that make sense?
Yes. it's changing
it's like
as
a stream.
you
You
train.
can never go to a river and get the same water. It's always different.
Wow. So that's why time travel cannot exist really in reality, because it's always changing.
Yeah. So if you tried to go back on some Back to the Future shit and you thought that this event was on the third stop, it's not there no more because it moved. Because time's always moving. It's not standing still. Whatever you did in the past, that shit ain't there no more. That shit is kept moving. Yo, they're gonna think I'm crazy. I swear to God. Anyway, listen. To answer, who was it? Somebody said something. They said, "Oh, a new woman said it doesn't always come from trauma." I disagree. Just because trauma doesn't necessarily have to be something that was so, like, eventful. The one thing that human beings have neglected is your sense of smell. As a straight man, for me to engage with a man, I would have to first get over the smell. I don't like to smell another man. In my brain, that immediately makes me start to swell up to be like, yo, man, you can't be your drugs around this motherfucker. What you doing? So people who are able to necessarily engage with the same sex at some point have had some sort of experience with that sex, and the scent was something that gave them the memory that they thought that shit was okay. I promise you that.
So
I used to have a homeboy. Hold on, this is real quick. I used to have a homeboy in the hood. His first experience with a woman was in a gangbang. Like, there's a girl in the hood and she just gave all the niggas in the hood some pussy, right? And the girl was musty because she was having sex with 5 or 6 little niggas. One day my man said something that was mad ill. He said, yo, and this is real talk. He said, when I jerk off, I sniff my underarm because it smelled like her. And when he said that, we all laughed at him. But later on, as an adult, I thought about that shit, and it's because the smell of her is what reminds him of his first experience. So now that smell is what turns him on, because we have something that called pheromones that people don't even acknowledge. And this is what gets older men in trouble with younger girls, because they can smell their pheromones and they know that that girl is ready. But society says, nah, my nigga, that shit ain't ready. You can't pluck that flower yet. And this is why human beings have the problems that they have, because they do not deal with their instincts and the things that really make them tick. So, that guy, we don't mix. We like oil and vinegar. And I'm going to be slick like oil. What he's talking about from a perspective as a convert. He's still referring to Abrahamic traditions. I don't. I ain't never took Shahada. I ain't did the Eucharist. I ain't never got fucking circumcised at no bar mitzvah. So I don't follow none of that shit. I don't study it because it's not, I got way more shit to put in my head than that shit. So the problem with the convert is that before you come into this, you must brainwash yourself and put yourself back to zero, back to kindergarten, so that you can accept this information as innocently as you should be able to process it, not with all of your contexts and all of your prejudges and all of that shit. That's the problem.
The actual conversation with Unc was, the 607 Unc was, that we're dead. He was trying to say that we're just dead and we're just in this prison earth that is.
Nah, I disagree. This is the resort for the universe. This is where you get to have sex, you get to laugh, you get to giggle, you get to get high, you get to do all of these things. You could be mean, you could be evil, you could be out here killing people. Do all that shit here. You can't do that shit in the universe, because all of the things that are in the universe, are bound by laws.
Mm.
The lightning has to strike. It has to do what the fuck it do. It don't tell God, well, not today. I don't feel like it. No, my nigga, go get this lightning striking the motherfucking earth. The river must run. The ocean must have waves. These things are they immutable. They have to have those things. You and I have fucking free will. You understand?
I'm gonna show you what he said because I really want you to because there's a lot of young guys that are listening to this guy, a lot of young kids, and they're on my channel, and I want to have another contrasting opinion about what he's saying. You know, he was a part of he's in the hip hop community, so he's really big. You know,
no, I know he is. He's entertaining to me, but I don't listen to what the fuck he talk about in terms of theory.
Well, this channel is about like bringing the darkness to light. So I really want to let's go into broadcasting. You were talking about the fact that we're here, but we are still dead. So I want to like ask, like, what is death in your mind to you? Like, what is death?
Death don't exist. What a soul is, a soul got to travel through certain things. You got to go through certain things in order to be fulfilled. And death is like kind of like, let's say, what's something good? You know how you move to one house, stay like in a, you stayed in a bad house before?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a big house like a mansion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, death kind of like that. You can evolve. You can get more than what you had, right? So death is like a stepping stone to become more because you like God. There's a lot of people don't know. And you kind of like trapped here. But the only way out is to be conscious. But I'm not in the hip hop. I heard you say something about hip hop. I'm not with the hip hop community. I'm not with.
So you're not?
No, I'm a Gnostic. Yeah, I'm a Gnostic. Yeah, I take a lot of different forms, right? And I'm just here to tell a message. I'm here to tell everybody they dead already because everybody's scared to die for nothing, right? That's what I'm here for. Can you smoke on her? I got to smoke the earth. Can I smoke
Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Yeah, okay, good.
You know?
I will not smoke the earth.
It's okay. So when you talk about like that death is really like we're here, are you talking about like a multiverse, or are you talking about like a matrix type of thing where if you were to pass on and come back up, we'd be like in some kind of matrixy type of thing, coming out some kind of pod type of thing?
No, y'all. Let me tell you what happened when you died. Why you here? You here because you was scared. You here for a reason. You're not here just. You've been here like 5 times, probably 4. But let me tell you what happened when you die. A lot of people don't know because they know, but they can't remember. So when you die, see, let me tell you one thing. So a lot of people don't know when they die because they haven't made a consciousness. So this 7 things, you got 7 emotions inside you and you got consciousness, right? And so your consciousness can't attach to none of them. The problem is people think that they self is their emotions. So after death, they can't recognize themselves. So after death, when you die, you kind of like got like 4 eyes. Your eyes go forward and backwards, right? So you can see forward and back of you and side to side. You can see everything. You got a clear vision. And you don't feel weight anymore because you don't have none of them emotions on you, right? So the emotion, the weight is gone. But when you look in front of you, you're going to see a white light. And everybody talks about this white light. But back in the Egyptian days, everybody that died of this white light, the person does, they think they see a white light. The problem is you do not see a white light. You actually are looking at you because your eyes go forward and backwards. And what people do is they run from that reality. But you can't run from yourself. So you kind of like back yourself up. So when you back yourself up, you take yourself to another multitude of tricks. And these multitudes of tricks, they show you people that you love and the people that you think you love. But the problem is with the people you think you love is you don't know who they was in their past life. Let me break it down to you like this. You can be with your mama today like, oh man, why my mama looking at me like she want to fuck me? Because your mama was your bitch in your past life. That's why a lot of people don't know, right? That's why your mama want to get down and suck on you because like she used to fuck on you in her past life. But then when you do it in this life, they're going to lock you up and send you to jail. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying people should know what they're living in and why they go through which they go through, right? But let me tell you.
So even molestation could be like a thing connected to like a past life.
Molestation. There's no such thing as that, right? You are connected with past souls. I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to say I condone that, but I don't condone in the world. So the stuff that I speak, people wouldn't understand, right? They just won't understand it, and I'm okay with that, right? But the child that get raped probably was a grown woman in a different life, and right, and the other person you think crazy, he probably saw that, but he's probably crazy and sick because he saw it in this reality, right? But you don't know what people at mentally or what they soul have been through. You can look at somebody and say, hey, this is my best friend, but the whole time you ever saw somebody and then they change, like, damn, he was just this way and now he that way.
Right, and that's what I was just saying is like that. I feel like that sometimes even like living, we'll be like alive, but like the world will end in that moment, and then we'll be in another world.
Right. So stop there. So in the book of the dead, and everybody know this. So the malus that you go through is kind of like right now. So everything is not. Everybody think everything is external, but it's all internal. Everything is a reflection of what you think and feel. The same thing in the afterlife, right? So now you're gonna get to seeing demons, right? And when you see these demons, you have to be master your good and your bad. So when you see these demons, this is your bad side because you didn't go forth the light. It still give you 2 more ways to get out, right? Now imagine this. Now you didn't go towards the light because you got afraid. right? You understand light was you, right? Secondly, now you on Earth, you think you on Earth, and you see everybody you think you love, you can't, now you attached to them, so that didn't work. Then we try to put you through the problem so you can see all your demons and all that. That didn't work. Fuck you, then die, get another body. We're gonna make you forget.
So do you think that Earth is a prison planet? Like a
Earth
planet?
is a prison. Earth is a prison made by the fake God. But the crazy is he's retarded. He's stupid. He don't know it's another God. You see, when Sophia made him, see the God.
Okay, see. Oh, see. All right. Again. So my near-death experience, I don't know what the fuck they talking about. The only thing I ever saw was the same thing that I can remember last, and then it just kept going on and over like a loop, right? Apparently I was possessed because my man that was in the car with me when we was in the car accident, he was turned into somebody else, and then I was like, oh, okay. And that happens when you have, like you said, there's any type of trauma. Your spiritual guides will step in as protectors, right? Now, I don't like to talk about death because I don't know what the fuck is on the other side. I mean, I talk to dead people, but
I'd rather say I don't know before I like talk so sure about it. And I actually began to tell him about a near-death experience I had, and he didn't want to hear it.
What I'm saying is, I talk to dead people, and when you ask them, they get funny. They don't. That's none of your business. You want to know what's over there, then you gotta die.
Really? Wow. Oh, so when you talk to them, they like don't ask that.
They just be like, they get funny. They can be like, what? They act like they didn't hear what you said.
Right, and you actually do the work. Yeah, you are a Oba Oriate. You do spiritism. You do.
No, I'm a spiritualist. I'm a medium. I get possessed. So every day there's a dead man that if I look around on some kazoo shit, he around, right? And every once in a while he puts his input in about the most mundane shit, I promise you. Like, you should buy them eggs. I was, shut the fuck up. And then I don't buy the eggs, and then 2 days later I need eggs, and this nigga be laughing in my fucking house.
Told you should have bought them eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So I don't know, like that, like, see, I don't go where there's no, excuse my language. If that shit don't put no interest on my dick or no zeros in my bank account, I don't give a fuck about it. Like, what? Why are you worried about that shit? Because that shit is bigger than you. So that goes into a story that a girl told me. My cousin is here. He witnessed to this. This girl said some real profound shit to me one day. She dropped the story on me. There's a man, and he's walking on the beach, pondering God and life. And as he's walking the beach, he sees a little girl, and she got a bucket and a little shovel, and she's digging a hole. And she's digging the hole, and every once in a while, she take the bucket and she go get some water and she pour it in the hole. So the little girl then took his attention off of whatever he was pondering on so much that he starts to observe the little girl, and he observes her to the point that he's like, "What is she doing?" So finally, he gets up enough courage to go and ask the little girl, "Hey, little girl, what are you doing?" She says, "I'm gonna put the ocean in this hole." He laughed. Ha ha ha. He said, "Don't you know that's impossible?" She said, "The same way you trying to put the mystery of God in that little head of yours." Why are you worrying about it? I don't talk to niggas that get all spacey. I don't fuck with space cadets at all. You better show me something. Don't tell me it's about some inky and none of them niggas and you can't call that nigga. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Because I could go somewhere. So the reality is that I could go to Brazil and not be a priest of Candomblé, and they could be doing something to one of the Mauritius, and I'm gonna know exactly what the fuck is going on based on the culture. I know what they feeding the motherfuckers. I know what the colors they got on. I know his behavior. I'm very clear. I'm like, oh, that's such and such, right?
Yeah.
Get up, and then I could go to Yoruba land and find one of them little towns, and some Mauritius gonna come down, and I could be able to recognize that shit. Like, oh, that's such and such, right? I go to Haiti. And they can start doing Vodun. And I'll be like, oh, that's such and such. That's like such and such. Okay. So when dudes get all spacey and they start telling me about some shit that did not come with them niggas over here on a slave ship, I don't want to hear that shit.
Right. He went to Egypt. He went to Sophia. He went
Fuck
all
all
around.
that shit. My nigga, that shit don't got nothing to do with you because that's not what you brought with you over here on the fucking slave shit. That's the bottom line. The proof is in the pudding. The first New Yorkers in New Amsterdam are Simon Congo, Anthony Portuguese, and Paul Angola. You can look it up. 5 years later, they brought the women because the niggas was complaining that they ain't had no women to lay up with. And so 5 years later, they brought the women. This was in the 1400s.
1400s. Wow.
Yeah.
Before 1479, 1772.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now, those were Congos. Simon Congo lived long enough that he established the African town that was the original African town down by Wall Street. Okay. We know that the Yoruba showed the fuck up in Cuba because they all over that shit. That shit all over that shit culturally. We know the same thing down in the Gullah Geechee. They got some Yoruba shit going on and some Igbo and some Mali shit. The niggas is rice cultivators.
My grandfather.
Now, none of them
Dayo.
niggas was talking about being Hebrew. None of them niggas was talking about being Zulu or being Ethiopian.
Ashe.
Now, this is what so before I go, this is what I offer to the people. Books. I write books. A glass of water and a candle. This is your tutorial on how to start your spiritualism, how to create your altar safely, how to recognize when you are getting the good shit and all that. And it got the prayers and the songs in Spanish, right? And in English. Okay? That's on Amazon. This is the coloring book, for all ages. It's a Risha coloring book, right? I got stories, I got mazes, and coloring the Orishas. All of that in that. Okay? So anybody that got a black school or one of them freedom schools or got a little after, you know what I'm saying, school program or something, and you need some Orisha content, stuff like that to uplift the children, go on to Amazon. This is my book, The Rites of Passage of Taiwan Kayende, book 1, The Enemy of Water. This is my Orisha sci-fi book. This is the Black Harry Potter book, right? The first one is out right now. The second one will be out in a couple months. It's already written. I just got to put it together and put it in the book, okay? Now, I say all of that to say, I do not, all that super uber conscious shit. So you have to understand that I was born conscious. Like I was born on some RBG shit. Like I can recite praise the red, the black, and the green. The brothers and sisters is being redeemed. Open up your eyes to see. We're on our way to being free. It says the red is for the blood that we shed. The black is for the race that's us. The green is for the land. So the black man to take his rifle. That shit is indoctrinated. You hear my cousin singing it behind me?
Ashe. Oh, yes.
So when niggas come to me with did you know a black man invented the fucking the dildo? I don't care. Right?
A
Because
black
all of
man
that shit is
invented the
bullshit.
dildo.
Where can you buy the Orisha sci-fi book? You got to go to Only Dina Production. Go to Only Dina Production, either on Instagram or on .com, and then you can order the book there, and we had a book. Because I'm shipping them out. The other 2 books are on Amazon, but they take a chunk of my money. And so I'm just doing this for now, so that, you know what I mean? Okay. Now.
That's Oba Dina Production right there. So please go ahead. Please, man, listen. It took me a year to get this interview, y'all. I have been calling this bro for a year. Really. Please come and do the interview.
So, I got a question for all the uber duper, super duper, chemist, Sumerian, all of that bullshit, right? Shit ain't got nothing to do with you. Here's the conundrum with their anthropology, and they're gonna have to figure this one out. And I've been doing this shit. Every time I go on a platform, I'm going to get the same conundrum. And they're going to have to figure this shit out. And you're going to be my answer. So it's rhetorical, but you're going to answer for me, okay?
Okay.
So we agree that in ancient Kemet, they had coins as a means of monetary exchange. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes? We agree on that, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We agree that in Sumeria, they had coins as a means of monetary exchange. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me how the fuck those are the two first civilizations when it is immutable that the cowrie shell was the very first non-edible currency traded in the world. Ain't no fucking cowrie shells in the motherfucking walls of the tomb, of the pyramids. Metallurgy came way later. So tell me, how is it that it's immutable? And this fact is immutable because even to the point that the Chinese used cowrie shells, that when they started to cast coins, they called them brown cowries with holes in the middle. So tell me, how is it that Sumerian Kemet are the first civilizations? So I'm gonna need all of the comic book reading niggas, the Bible reading niggas. I need them to riddle me that. This is in your encyclopedia. You could Google this fact. Why you going to tell that brother, you don't know what he's talking about? Put it in the Google machine. The cowrie shell was the first non-edible. We were talking about earlier, salt, then corn, then grain. But the commutable fucking exchange was fucking cowrie shells. So how did they usurp the cowrie shell and get the coins? They had to been after, correct?
Absolutely.
So that means that all that shit that them niggas been talking about is all bullshit. Again, we could say what we want to, but the Orisha traditions, they participate in us looking at each other right now on this thing right now. This is made up of ones and zeros, which is a binary system that the Yoruba cultivated based on their own De Lagoon system. Point blank, period.
And now you have AI.
Ancestral intelligence.
Ancestral, not artificial, but ancestral intelligence.
Yeah, they fucking with dead people.
They want to say artificial, so they don't have to give us the T because we've been the ones, right?
I write about this all in my little sci-fi book.
Y'all get the sci-fi book, y'all.
But again, like I said, this is something that when the niggas get to talking all that in Sumeria, in the Emerald Tablets, and ask them niggas, well, how the fuck did that niggas skip over the cowrie shell as a fucking means of currency? How y'all did that? That means that you niggas ain't as old as you say you are in comparison to the shit that I got going on. I promise you that.
Wow.
Okay? And so I don't, like I said, I don't mix with other people. They can have whatever opinions they are, but they're not really fitting to talk to me because we ain't got nothing to debate about. I was born into this, not sworn into this. This is what I do every day. So I'm not fitting to argue with some white boy that converted, like whatever, because you don't have, I got Orisha Egu. Fuck all that other shit. Like I ain't got, let's just Mamie and them. I ain't got just, Mahalia. No, I got Agba. My grandmother had Obatalame, Oroba. My own mother, Carol Ann Omidina, my uncle, Shola Irawo, my other uncle, Sholare Me, I'm not doing this shit for fucking fun. I couldn't run away from this shit if I wanted to. So this is why I'm like, nah, my nigga. So really, all of these people, Black Witch, Yaya, and this one and that one, all these people that have these platforms, they should not be saying anything because they don't have 20 plus years of licensing this shit. So the white boy gonna tell me, what you gonna tell me? My nigga, he wasn't there. My mother made Ocha in 1988. Where was you at? Where was you at in 1988? What was you doing?
He was a Jehovah's Witness.
Exactly. But I was in Mama Stephanie's crib, and there was goats in her fucking hallway, and there was chickens in the boxes, and they were singing songs, and my mother was getting initiated. You didn't even know this shit existed. Your concept of God is skewed. We looking through the window. I'm looking through a clear window. You got fucking dirt and shit on it. You can only see through one hole. I promise you. Nah. So I don't have like that. That's why I'm saying like I'm not fitting to debate. This is why I didn't fuck with the whole Sinetta TV shit, because I'm not fitting to debate with some Hebrew Israelites. Nigga, what are you talking about? You sound crazy. You want to be a Jew? Okay, go knock yourself out. Then go on and move over there.
Well, the Jews had to come over here into Nigeria to get over here. Like, what?
Well, see, that's the thing.
So niggas better how they got over here and get and
hear me out. They better stop that shit because what they're doing is they're gonna give the Jews legitimacy to go into Africa and take shit. If they get to talking about the Igbos or the lost tribe of Lemba and that's their brothers, they're gonna take claims and ownership of that land. I promise you that. They need to cut that shit the fuck out. You're not a Jew. You don't want them niggas on your fucking heels. Real talk. All of this, and we're really the real. No, you do not want to be that. Because then that will give them ownership of the land wherever you stand at. Oh, you're my brother, shalom. And then the niggas will kick you in your ass. And then them niggas will be another part of Israel. Don't play with them niggas. Mind your fucking business. Because your ancestors was not worshiping motherfucking Levi and Abraham and them niggas.
Man, listen, I had a whole I don't know if you see my debate when I debated the Torah versus the Ephah. And I said, listen, the first thing I said was they had to come over here into West Africa over there to make it happen. So
first of all, you're talking about the three Abrahamic religions are consisted of nomads. We're not going to argue with nomads. There's no that somebody kicked you the fuck out. They didn't like what you was doing. So we're not going to talk about you because you are not like wherever the fuck you came from. Okay? All three of them religions are nomadic religions. So that denotes that you don't have no civility, that you don't have no civilization. You have no society. Right? So I don't fuck with nomads. Nomads are marauders. They're snake oil salesmen. Okay? They're slavers, as we've learned. So no, I don't want to hear about the Abrahamic faith. I don't want to hear nothing about that shit. Because that's not what you came over here with. And I can tell you, because I've been on Savior's Day in the Nation of Islam, Mosque number 7 in Harlem, and I was there when on the screen when Farrakhan said that Islam was not their true religion, that none of the prophets was black.
What?
Yeah, I was there. This had to have been like Savior's Day, like 2007.
That none of the prophets, none of them were black.
No, Bilal, that's the only one you're going to go on? Right. So again, I'm not arguing with people who are invested in comic books. You bugging out. You got your folklore from a comic book. That's from somebody's imagination. Because you don't have not one grade. So all these great niggas that you niggas got from all of this, you ain't got Muhammad's grade, you ain't got fucking Abraham's grade, you ain't got motherfucking Jesus' grade, but you niggas love these niggas so much? That's not how human beings act. You somebody bad, niggas gonna put you in some kind of motherfucking mausoleum and be like, look at that nigga, he's so great. So the fact that you don't got none of your fucking characters from your folklore is bullshit. Now, it is a known fact that in Ile Ife, them niggas gotta do the wash bones in that motherfucker. Okay? So we ain't got nothing to talk about. Again, you can tell me about the pyramids, they look great, but you can't build pyramids in the fucking forest. That means you gotta cut the trees down. And if people that believe that the trees are sacred, they're not gonna cut the trees down to make no pyramid. Remember that. Okay? But again, if you go on, they go on my website, if they go on my Patreon, I got lectures up there. I got the second lecture I ever did in the quote-unquote conscious community, which was Congo before Kemet. So that when you go back and you listen to these things, you'll understand how I changed the skeeter in the whole conscious community. They wasn't talking like this before I showed up. After I showed up, they started talking different. This is when Sanetta went and got the queen from Luba, from the Luba kingdom in Congo. And all of that came because I did that lecture and I put all of that shit to a cease. I told them that it was a cemetery. It ain't nothing but them goddamn pyramids. This is a cemetery. And you niggas can't tell me that you got any fucking rituals from there because you can't read that shit that's on the wall and you don't speak the language. But I still speak Lucumi. So you can say whatever you want to about Oyo and its demise, but I'm here in America and I speak Lucumi. That's the whole fact. And I did, in my first lecture, I told them niggas, I said, well, why don't you niggas sing one of them comedic songs? They could. You got no songs. You ain't got nothing. Right? But I can sit here for half an hour and sing for one Orisha. In a quote-unquote dead language? Come on. I mean,
And the
like,
deadline, right?
yeah. Again, let's just make it make sense. Like, I've been around all these conscious niggas all my life. The African Street Festival, BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, Dance Africa, the Kwanzaa festivals, all that shit. I've been at all of this shit. I seen the conscious niggas with the fucking dashikis and the dreadlocks and all that. And they didn't want to fuck with the Orisha people because we was killing chickens because that shit get real.
And that shit is real.
Yeah, that's when they get real because niggas don't want to have to take no life. They want, oh no, because Emotep wouldn't even kill a fly and all that bullshit. They start talking. Like, my nigga, don't sell that shit to me.
Right.
If
you're hungry, nigga, is you hungry?
All of that shit about Egypt, but that nigga was initiated in a Khan. Exactly. So, like I said, so I'm about to get out of here because I gotta go get, you know what I'm saying, get some food and stuff from me and the peoples. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it square bean because this is my tradition. I ain't gonna change. I don't need to put on a dashiki. I don't need to put one of them funny hats with all the rubies around and niggas looking like fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the Swami Muhammad and shit? I ain't gotta do none of that. If you come in my presence and the dead nigga get to talking, I'm gonna be like, yo, he said it, and then we're gonna have a conversation. If you come in, I throw some shells for you, the Ocha gonna talk right about what's going on.
Sure.
I'm not gonna put on no extra fucking, I'm not gonna bang on no drums for you, put the mask on and scare you. I ain't with all that shit.
Honey, you initiated me, so I know that's the reason why I said, listen, I need to talk to you and let people know who you like. I mean, if people didn't see your stuff in the past, they need to look you up. Brother Oba, look him up on YouTube. Look him up, okay? Oma Dina production.
Omi Dina, that was my mother's Ocha name. Omi Dina, she had Yaman Yame. OMIDINA PROD at gmail.com or OMIDINIPROD.
And you do initiation, you do readings, you like do initiation.
Yeah, so because of the COVID situation, I do readings over the phone for people, but I charge more than over the phone than I do in person because it's not my custom. And so if you want that convenience, you're gonna have to pay for it, right? So I charge $200 on the phone and $100 in person. You can go to my Instagram. I got my Instagram. One of them is Ekun7, EKUN7, or you could go to the business page, which is Only Dina Productions, on Instagram or .com. I got about maybe like more than 30 to 40 lectures on there. How to make baths, like just simple stuff that, you know what I mean? I'm not giving up no spells. I ain't teaching you how to put your baby daddy dick in the dirt or none of that shit. We ain't doing that.
Right. That's not even what it's about. Like, listen, and also below this whole video is all of his links. So if you guys get a chance, go ahead, check out his links. They're below this video on the bottom. Go check him out. Like I said, he initiated me into Olokun. So this is not a person. I'm not bringing somebody on that I have not tested, tried, true, dealt with my own self.
For clarification, so that they understand, I was made to Chango in 2005 in Havana, in Central Havana, on Subriana Street. My godmother is Omila Dayo, Martiga Sanchez. She lives in Florida somewhere. We don't speak because I came with bad reasons included, and so there was nothing for her to do with me. You know what I mean? And she's an older woman, so she don't keep up with me. My Ajibona in Ocha, I speak to her all the time. I speak to her at least once a week. She lives in Havana, Cuba right now. Right? I was made there. I went back after like 11 years and I connected with my Ajibona, and I've done officiated ceremonies over there. I've officiated misas over there. I have people from over there that are here now that I'm, you know what I'm saying, I keep an eye on that in my little cadre of santeros that I have available to me. And I got a whole family. I got an aunt. The last living adult of my mother's generation is my aunt. She has Chango made for 45 years. Okay? And then all of my cousins have Ocha. So that's just in case, because you know there'd be somebody that be hating, be like, well, who do? No, I've been around. Like I said, I was taught first off in my younger years to be around Barbara Renard Simmons, Alfred Davis, Jose Manuel Oyadina. I'm like me and Baba Yomi Yomi son is like brothers. That's my guy. I could go in the Yomi Yomi house like that. I was groomed by Facundo. I was groomed by Puntilla. I was groomed by Abuelo. I was groomed by Rogelio Guinar, Oshuni K. I was groomed by Guini Me, Tonico. And right as of right now, my elder, who I go to for my go-to, is someone in Cuba by the name of Felipe Manuel, who has a leg Bame Obake Rona. That's my Oriate. And then I got another Oba that I deal with. That's my mother godfather, is Tito Obanjoko, right? And those are my current professors. Those are who, if I go into a brick wall, those are the guys that I could get on the phone. And at the most 2 days, I'm gonna get a response. You feel me? So if anybody out there is like, well, what are his qualifications? No, I got qualified by some of the best, right? And I've been around all over. I was with Puntilla. I went in every house in the Bronx, from Jessup to the Candela house to fucking Bronx River to Crows, Fratelli, all of that stuff. I was there with Puntilla when they was playing them tambors in the late 90s, early 2000s, when that was the end of the era. Okay? So, my qualifications...
And you also work with the Oyotunji?
Nah, I don't really bother with the two. Like, I got some friends from out of there, but I don't agree with the Oyotunji. I don't agree with their politics and their style of Ocha. And so I don't cross-pollinate with none of that shit. Yo soy Lucumi, right? My Ocha is Lucumi. I was born in Cuba. And that's what I do. I don't let them be putting nothing extra on my stuff. And then can't put no Ishe nothing on it. Nah, I don't need it. Feel me?
Right. Right. So, man, this has been an awesome live. Man, we have went all over the place with this whole thing. This is awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
No, I'm gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? But
we gotta bring you back.
Feel me?
We gotta bring you back. We gotta bring you back. And yeah, I want you to come down here. You know, you already know what's up. So.
Well, you know what it is. All right.
Much love.
Yeah, I'm like I said. You know, the love you can sock it to my pocket. You know what I mean? Go get them books. It's fair exchange, no robbery. You know what I mean? I ain't asking you for no donations, for no building funds, and nothing like that. You get the book. The book is repertorial. You can go back and look at it. The coloring book is entertaining, even just for old people that have, you know what I mean, suffering from Alzheimer's and arthritis and things like that. These are good exercises. And the last book is going to be epic, because this is a series of books. I'm done with the second one installment to that book. It should be out soon. But this first one, you got to get with that to get in the universe. You feel me?
Ashe. Listen, this has been an awesome live, and I thank you so much. Shouts out. I really appreciate you for being here. This has been awesome.
No, you've been a good host. And like I said to the people, I got my info is there. You know what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight old school orthodox. You know what I'm saying? But my honor and my humility is bound to this religion. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? I ain't in it for the money. So, but you still gotta sock it to my pocket. Because I'm gonna teach you free. You know what I'm saying? If you're around. But if you ask a question, then you know it got to be some reciprocity. You know what I mean? Real talk.
Listen, you are alchemizing energy from darkness to light. Shouts out and peace.
Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition.